Remember a time when conservatives bitched about activist judges on the Supreme Court? Well, look no further than Justice Samuel Alito and his ride-or-die bitch, Martha Ann. Sammy got caught up in a MAGA shitstorm when he decided to fly an American flag upside down in front of his home after Trump lost the 2020 election, and then failed to successfully lead a coup against his own government. When Injustice Alito was confronted, he gave a response you would expect from a toddler, or Donald Trump, and he tried to blame someone else. In Alito's case, his side piece, Martha Ann, claiming their neighbor had a "fuck Trump" sign in their yard, and that offended Martha Ann. So of course, a reasonable response is to fly an American flag upside down, knowing your husband is a Supreme Court justice. A veterans organization scolded the Alitos and assured them that a bad word does not signal America's in distress, regardless of what the Bible says about foul language. Last I checked, we still have a right to freedom of speech. But Sammy and his boo, Martha Ann, think only certain people should be protected, mainly theirs, and peoples who share their shitty, closed-minded view of the world. It wasn't surprising that Alito had contracted full-blown MAGA AIDS, or that he blamed someone else for his action. This is a typical tactic used by right-wing politicians to blame others while proclaiming to the masses to pick yourselves up by your bootstraps and personal responsibility, and all that bullshit. Now that there is no question Alito is biased for anything MAGA-related, you would think a justice on the Supreme Court would recuse themselves when there is an obvious conflict. But Sammy argued that any reasonable person could conclude that taking up a case giving total immunity to Trump, flying an upside-down flag, and supporting the Stop the Steal campaign, where Trump and his buddies pocketed millions, are all above board, straight, white, and Christian, with the exception of Clarence, Tim, and Byron. That's the Alito motto. And then there are the recordings of Alito saying that the right must win against the left and Democrats. He said this in public, to a stranger. Makes you wonder what he says in private. I don't care what Alito believes. I don't want someone who is supposed to be impartial making decisions based on his beliefs and forcing them on the public, like he did with Roe, and he wants to do with same-sex marriage, birth control, and whatever religious wet dream he can think of. Do you really think if Ketanji Brown Jackson had a "fuck Trump" sign in her yard, Republicans would let her adjudicate any case, let alone cases against Trump? Shit. Alito is at a point in his MAGA doctrine that he feels empowered to trample whatever ethics rules the Supreme Court had, and he sees Trump as a vehicle to achieve his religious doctrine. Even in his letter to the New York Times, he stated that his wife has the freedom and right to do whatever she wants, an obvious kick to the hoo-ha of all the women he stripped of their constitutional rights to health care, and also extremely petty for a Supreme Court justice. This is the Trump effect. Be a dick, disregard others, look out for yourselves and your interest, blame others for your shitty behavior, and repeat and recycle. Remember, MAGA is about power and control, and making everyone else who does not see the world through MAGA conspiracy glasses suffer through unpopular Supreme Court decisions or another 4 years of Trump, which comes with the added bonus of getting to see this guy again. Gross!